Good afternoon. My name is Letitia of lateesha.com. I'm an astrologer, a numerologist, tarot reader, spiritualist, and I am continuing my series on the North Node through the houses. So today we're going to discuss the North Node of the Moon when it is found in the fifth house in the natal chart. So the fifth house is the house that rules the heart, if you will, because it is the house that is traditionally ruled by Leo. So in this house, we find creativity, we find fire, right? Because Leo is a fire sign. So the essence of this is fire and fixed fire at that. And then also within the fifth house, we find the things that you give birth to. So it is associated with the children. It is associated with early elementary education in Vedic astrology is found there. In Western astrology, elementary education is found in the third house. But you can find evidences of elementary education found in both houses. And then also within the fifth house, if you are an entrepreneur, you will find this energy of the fifth house there. So when we have the north node of the moon coming into the fifth house, it shows that the south node of the moon is in the 11th house. So when you have the 11th house, south node of the moon, it shows that in a past life, you were a person who was focused on groups and organizations, friends, outward accomplishments, and gains, because the 11th house rules your accolades and gains. So all that you were doing in the past life was to be recognized, receive gains, be seen out in the world, and to be just a major part of the groups that are out in society. Also, the 11th house represents technology. It's a house that is traditionally ruled by Aquarius. So in there we have this fixed Aquarian air energy that is still in the house regardless of what sign may be there. So with Aquarius, you have this, it is a sign of friendship. So that was what life was all about when you had the south node in the 11th house. So now that you have the north node in the fifth house, life is about giving birth. It is giving birth. It is creating something. Even if you were creating Frankenstein's monster, it is your call to create, to use your mind, to use your ability. You have an amazing gift to be able to create something for yourself as opposed to the others, which is the 11th house. To create something, give birth to children, and then train them and teach them is a part of the fifth house energy. So any place that the north node is, it is challenging for us to walk towards that north node energy. The south node is easier to do because we've done that. We have the t-shirt. We have become the expert at that south node energy. But this time around, during this incarnation, it's important for us to learn that next axis, the other side of the axis of the pole. So it is important to embrace entrepreneurial energy when you have the north node in the fifth house. It is important to be able to step away from so much group activity. If you are falling into group activities all the time, or you will feel more comfortable as a part of the group and saying, let's do it together. What can we do together? But the fifth house, that fifth house energy is causing you to create something independently. It is within the number 5 in numerology that we see this brave and bold, independent energy. People who have a lot of number 5 energy within their numerology chart, they don't join groups very well. They don't do well with group activities. So that 5 energy, we find that in the 5th house. It doesn't do well with group activities. It cannot shine the best. So, but you will be drawn back to doing group activities because of that 11th house you have perfected the activities of with the South Node there. But if you are constantly being drawn to being in the group and you only want to do things in the group, you can do that and do it well, but you won't find fulfillment, because when you move towards the North Node, then you find what is fulfilling to you. So let's say, for instance, you have what sign? Let's say, for instance, you have the sign of, I want to do one that's non-fire. Let's say, for instance, you have the sign of Cancer in the 5th house, and then the North Node is in the sign of Cancer in the 5th house. So Cancer would traditionally be the 4th house. But now it is a water sign, very nurturing, and it is here in the 5th house. So, and the 5th house is about the children. It is about giving birth to something. So that wouldn't be too foreign to Cancer. But the watery nature that is there is different than the fire nature that is associated with the 5th house. So with the Cancer here, you would definitely want to be focused on nurturing the family, moving towards that, because with the South Node in the 11th house in the sign of Capricorn, you would be drawn to being away and being out in the public and building businesses and being detached from the home. And now you are being called to be attached to the home, to your family of origin, and not be far away from them. That is your focus this go round. Focusing on the needs of your family and creating for them, creating something, starting your own business. And that's the challenge. Starting your own business is a huge challenge with the North Node in the 5th house, especially in the sign of Cancer, because Cancer and Capricorn on that axis, they are very concerned about stability. So it's easier to lock into an already established business and blend in and become a part of that group, because the South Node has done that, has done it well. So now the call for your soul is for the family, probably establish a family business with that 5th house North Node in the sign of Cancer. Where everyone who is in the family is linked in with the business. One of the family members is a secretary, and the other family member is the artist, and the other family member is driving the truck, but it is a family business. Now, moving towards that with the North Node in Cancer in the 5th house would be amazing, because you would have the support of the universe to have that business grow and grow strong. And though you can, like we said, be very successful with Capricorn South Node in the 11th house, doing what you had traditionally done, but something inside will feel so unfulfilled. It will just be longing and lacking. Okay? And let's say, for instance, let's take another sign. Let's take an air sign. So let's say you have Aquarius in the sign of in the 5th house, North Node in Aquarius in the 5th house, which would mean you would have Leo in the 11th house, and the South Node would be sitting there. So now the energy is flip-flopped, because Leo would traditionally rule the 5th house. So now you have it sitting in the 11th house. And even though this can be challenging, it is easier, because these energies sit on the same axis. So it is just blending a known energy for both the houses and the sign. So it is blending the two energies together and creating a balance. So you would want to, when the North Node is in the 5th house in the sign of Aquarius, you would want to use that air energy, that ability to talk and share information. You would want to use that energy to create a business that is probably around technology. It could be involving astrology, because Uranus is the modern ruler for the sign of Aquarius. So you could have an astrology business and nurture that astrology business. And you could work that business from home, perhaps. And I say that because it is in the lower part of the chart, not out in the public as the 11th and the 10th houses are. But this is something that is beneath. So you could build this business from home and from word of mouth. This could really blossom. You could have a technology business. You could be doing IT work from home. You could start that business because you really want to tap into the entrepreneurial energy when you have the North Node in the 5th house. That's a key thing there. And then with Aquarius, it is about friendship. So now you have partnerships. You have friends that are coming in and helping with the creativity. You're not just doing this typically alone, but you are doing this with friends, bringing in that Aquarian energy. So this is something that you could do with the 5th house North Node in the sign of Aquarius, but you want to make sure that you are using that ability to talk with that air energy, using technology. These are key things. Humanitarian efforts are very huge for Aquarius. So creating a nonprofit that is to feed the homeless, or to make sure that the homeless, they have clothing, or if there are women who are battered, you can start a homeless shelter or some kind of humanitarian effort, but it is with your friends, it is with the community and the people who you have around you. So this is very powerful. And then let's take one more sign to look at for the North Node in the 5th house. So let's take the sign of Aries. So Aries and Leo are both fire signs. So this is really a good energy here. So you have the fire energy. 5th house is a fire house. And then so we have Aries coming in. So it is fire. Where Leo is about the self. Okay, Aries is definitely about the self as well. So you would have a business and North Node in the sign of Aries in the 5th house. You would have a business or a path in your life that is focused on the body, focused on the face, focused on building the body, building muscle, building strength. You could start a gym. You could be a bodybuilder, have your business in this way. But you could teach children. 5th house, you could be teaching children how to build muscle, how to exercise, how to jump rope, how to take care of the body with the North Node in Aries in the 5th house. So anything moving towards that would be awesome. And then, so you would have the South Node in the sign of Libra in the 11th house. So the 11th house, again, is about the others and the community and humanitarian efforts. And Libra is always about other people and diplomacy and beauty concerning others. So with the North Node in Aries in the 5th house, it would be about the body, and it would be about the self, and it would be about independent work. The North Node in the 5th in Aries would not do well working with a group of people. They would do better, being, again, this independent contractor, or having, a sole proprietorship. And then if they do have children, it would be about teaching the child, to take care of itself. And then the Aries also, again, it rules the head. It rules the head. The North Node here could be focused even on, you could find somebody who takes care of hair, beautifying hair, beautifying the head. You could even find, because Mars is about surgery, so you could find even a surgeon here with this 5th house North Node in the sign of Aries. So you could have a business where you're a neurologist. Of course, it would depend on some of the other placements, what's happening with Scorpio and so forth. But this is something that you could see with the North Node in the 5th house in the sign of Aries. But it is focusing on the self and moving away from sacrificing so much of yourself for the others to be an entrepreneur. That's what you are called to do, to be an entrepreneur and to create an amazing business and legacy. And that's the challenge, because you want to fall back to always doing for the others, working with the others, and not necessarily moving towards the North Node that's calling for independence in that way. Okay, so that is all that I want to share with you about the North Node in the 5th house. If you would like to find me or contact me, I am Lateesha from lateesha.com. You can find me on YouTube, Lateesha Astrologer, Astrological Counselor. You can find me on Facebook, Lateesha Astrological Counselor, Instagram, LB Hinton1MS, and that is it. And thank you so much. If you would like a personal reading from me, I would be glad to do that. You can check out everything at lateesha.com. Have a good day.